All right, welcome back. It's been a while since I've made a video. This is the Southern California District SCNCA State Championship, and this actual race right here is the combined race of the 50s, the 55s, and the 60s. So there's actually three categories combined into one. Pretty big field. I think we had like 70 plus riders. I was just yelling at Mario right there because he did a little sweep across them. Uh, he didn't do it on purpose. It was a bit of an accident. He apologized later, but it was a little scary. I'm bridging up to a breakaway here because there was a dangerous move that went up. So my job, since I'm a NorCal rider, is to work for my teammates, which are in this race John Slover, Bart Clifford, Andrew Knuckles, Danny Rondon also is NorCal. We both came down from Visalia. We both live in Visalia. We both came down to help. And John Lance also, he's a 50 plus. So our ultimate goal is to get both of those guys up there so they can both win the state championship. So, but there was some major hitters in this race. So there was guys going off the front, right and left. So I myself did quite a bit of work, as you can see. I'm doing a lot of work to close down these breaks. And so I've got to kind of save a little bit on the last lap to help Bart in a sprint. Because Bart's the defending champion and probably one of the best sprinters in Southern California for our age group. There's Danny Rondon in the purple. There's Chris Hahn. He's our current national champion in the 55 plus. Obviously, he's a huge threat. He's riding really strong. There's Bart in the white jersey on the left there. So this was a new course in Irvine, Jeff Prince. It was sponsored by Massimo, which is a company that makes medical supply, medical equipment, and also Shimano. So those two companies kicked out a lot of money for this race to help put it on because it's really expensive to put on races in Orange County. But as you can see by the pavement and the course, it's just beautiful. It's just a big wide open square, but it was just a lot of fun. Like, it was fast. It was a fast, flowy course. I think we averaged 27.1 miles an hour in this race, which was actually faster than the 35-45 race. I think that race we averaged like 25.6, or I'm sorry, 26.6. So yeah, so here we are. I think we've got like I don't know, like 19 minutes or so left of this race. Um, there's, I think that's Johnny Lance right there. I felt pretty good. I've had a really rough season, to be honest. I've It's just been one thing after another. I had a huge crash at the beginning of the year. Then I had a pulled calf muscle during a move, moving a refrigerator, and it just took me a really Like I said, it took me a long time to get myself back to shape again, and it's just been one thing after another. So I finally, in the last few weeks, I finally started to feel myself again. So actually felt like I was part of the race and was actually being able to help, you know, make an impact on the race instead of just surviving. Which is good because the next couple of weeks are going to be big for me because next weekend Bart and I are flying out to St. Louis to do Gateway. The Gateway Cup is 4 days of criterium racing, and then the following weekend on 9/11, September 11th in Monterey is our NorCal State Championships. California is just such a big district. It has split in two different districts, so they don't have a true state championship, which I wish they did, like meet somewhere in the middle, but they have a NorCal and a SoCal state championship. So in this case right here, this is the SoCal state championship, which I am not eligible for. So I will do everything that I can to help the guys out. And as you will see, it ends up working out pretty well. This race was very aggressive. There was just attack after attack after attack. There was a late breakaway where two guys went up the road. Um, it looked like they were going to stay off. It was Kenny Rogers and a guy from San Diego Bicycle Club, Morrison, and they're both breakaway riders. And so I'm just kind of hoping that everybody pulls them back because, you know, hey, it's a state championship. One of them was 50 plus and one of them was 55. So there was, I mean, both championships were up the road. So everybody had a good reason to chase it down. But nobody does. So eventually I have to go to the front and start working. And so I pull them back with 4 laps to go. And then I say, I'm going to the front right now to pull them back. Because it looks like those guys are, you can barely even see them up there. So they're way up the road. So I'm going to do a hard dig and pull them back. At least get us close. And then go try and recover enough to still do a lead out for Bart. Because I kind of burned a lot of matches right here doing this. Nobody else was going to do it, so I figured I'd go do it. I think I petered out right here and let some other guys pull through. But, you know, and then look, now everybody sits up. Like I get them almost all the way across the break, and then I mean, come on, you guys. This is a state championship. Everybody just wants to sit on and do no work. It's kind of ridiculous. But, you know, what are you going to do? So I just kind of drift to the back, try to catch my breath, get my legs back, and then I'll go back to the front and do it again. And I essentially do it on bell lap and take them right up to catch the breakaway, and then drop Bart off just before the last turn. I think we're going into 3 laps to go here. And then right when this race is over, it's going to flow into the 35 45, I'm sorry, 35 40 45 state championship, which we also have quite a bit of guys on our team racing in that category as well. And spoiler alert, we actually end up getting 2 state championships today. So I got to be a good part of helping set up both of them. So that was a good feeling. Ooh, there was a little mishap there. Two guys ran into each other. Nobody crashed, but I think I heard some spokes cracking. That turn two was pretty sketchy sometimes. You definitely didn't want to take it on the outside because guys swept out. I always tried to take it on the inside as much as possible. So I'm starting to catch my breath again, and I'm going to start working my way back towards the front so that I can at least, I don't see our guys should be all at the front doing a lead out, but they're not. So I've got to go up to the front at the very end and just get in front of Bart and just empty my tank out. This is turn four going into the finish, so it's kind of a downhill sprint. It was actually a really fun course. CBR did a really good job with this one. I think there's just a couple minutes left of this one. I think next lap is going to be bell lap. So I'm just gonna try to sneak my way up to the front as much as I can without burning too many matches. Those two guys are actually still off the front. They're just dangling out in front of them. Nobody's really doing a hard enough effort to bring them back, which is surprising because they're doing 30 miles an hour right here. But I think it was just kind of up and down pace wise. So my plan was to stay on the outside here, move up on the outside, and then when we make the last turn into the final turn, the wind was kind of coming from right to left. And so when we made the right turn, there was a little bit of a crosswind. And so I was able to just move up to the side of the field. It was actually the best place to move up on the left side there. And you're kind of in the sheltered section, so. All right, so I'm going to move up the side. Bart's way at the front there. You can see when I make this turn, you can see he's looking back like, where's my lead out? Come on, you guys. And I'm like, I'm coming. I'm coming. I don't know where the rest of our guys are, but maybe they were hurting. I don't know. But yeah, he's looking back for it. Like, there he is. So I slot in front of him right behind Tony Brady here. That's Pat Boss on the front, just drilling it. These guys are both 50 plus, so, and there's the breakaway right in front of us. So they're just still kind of dangling. I think maybe they had an idea that maybe they would stay off, but I'm gonna pull them back right here. I burned a lot of matches just getting up here, so I didn't have a whole lot to do the lead out that I really wanted to do. I kind of wanted to take us from turn 3 to 4 and just empty the tank as fast as I could, but there's Kenny Rogers. We pulled him back, and then we'll get the last guy here. I go as hard as I can, and then my legs just kind of give out about right here. Bart's yelling at me, no, a little bit more, dig, Sean, dig. I'm like, okay, I'm trying. That guy gave up right there, so I gave up too. And so there goes Bart. Bart's right on the perfect wheel, which was Craig Miller, which we didn't even know Craig Miller was racing again, but Bart ended up beating everybody to the line and winning the state championship. So we're gonna jump ahead here and jump into the 35, 40, 45 race. And that one was actually a pretty exciting finish too. Okay, so here we are, jumped ahead. A little bit of a slower race, believe it or not, even though the caliber of riders was a lot faster. Um, there were quite a few breaks that tried to get up the road, but there ended up being one big break at the end. Had a Monster Media guy and Eric Bierman from Stage 9. I forget which team he's on, but it's Eric Bierman, the guy that puts on the Crit Cross races. Jesse Mendonca and Eric Bierman. They were off the front. And they had a pretty good gap. I guess they had almost a minute on us. And nobody was really chasing. They were just kind of letting them dangle out there. But, like I said in the previous video, this is a state championship. You don't let stuff like that go up the road. So I'm going to start working my way to the front. It took me, this was a 50-minute race. It took me a good 20 to 25 minutes to get my legs back from the first race because we only had one race in between the two races to get some fluids and some gels and keep your legs warmed up and try not to get tight, but I don't, sometimes I'll do better if I just go back to back or if I have a couple hours. But it usually takes me, at my age now, it takes me a little while to get my legs back. But I was starting to feel good again right here. So I had taken a couple gels and drank some fluids, and I just want to do, we have Scott Cox, who is a really strong 45 plus rider. We have Dustin Armstrong, who's our really strong 40 plus rider, and Mike Shanafelt, Charles Hogan. These are our these are our big hitters for the younger masters. So I'm just here to do anything I can for them. So what I end up doing is the break was so far up the road, nobody was chasing. So I just went to the front and I did almost a full lap chase and just pulled, got us as close as I could. That big break right there was kind of sneaking off, but everybody kind of stitches it back together. But two guys end up staying off the front in front of them, and so I tried to get us as close to them as I could until my legs blew. But then Dusty was able to counter off of that, and he bridged up to the two guys, and he ended up winning the race. So I I was able to actually help set him up, which was kind of cool because I actually felt like I did something to help the team because at Laverne Crit, I just had nothing in my legs and wished I could have been up in the front to help, set up Scott. And I just didn't have the legs that day. But I had the legs today, so it was a good feeling to be able to get back up in there again. There's Stephen Brown from Methods to Winning. He also had a teammate, Eric Anderson, in there. Sharon and Rasan weren't there. I think they were out of town. I think Rasan's in Indianapolis. He was announcing. He did a really good job too, announcing the Indianapolis ACC race. And I think Sharon's on a beach somewhere, sipping Mai Tais. There's Eric Bierman right there, so he hadn't snuck off yet, so he must go when we catch that break. There's the San Diego guys that they were pretty active in attacking quite a bit. I don't know what their names were, but they were from San Diego Bicycle Club. Very, very sparky, aggressive riders. That was a little sketchy. You guys were just bumping into each other. There's some pretty sketchy bike handling. I'm talking a little smack to Lair right there. He's a friend. I was just giving him a hard time. There's Billy. Billy's in front of me right there. He's one of our new teammates, ex motocross racer. Not a lot of excitement happens. I just kind of float in the pack, just waiting for the last lap so I can actually do some work to help out the guys. There's Bart. He's sliding back up in the front. I really hope they're able to bring this course back again next year because it was a really fun course. It was a beautiful day, sunny, mid 70s. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better day riding bikes. It was beautiful. There was a pretty good crosswind on this side. The wind kind of shifted a little bit, but nobody really wanted to ride on the left side here because everybody was trying to get some draft in the gutter. So I was always able to move up. You have to throw some watts down, but it was pretty easy to move up on this side because nobody really wanted to ride on this side. So then I would just kind of, as soon as we made this turn here, I would just kind of slide back in, get in the draft, and then recover a little bit. As you can see, we're doing 800 watts right there. Pace is starting to pick up a bit. This was kind of a little bit of a slight uphill. And then when you made this right-hand turn here, it was kind of a slight uphill between turns 3 and 4. It was just kind of a gradual uphill. Um, Not enough to where you really felt it. It definitely was not -1. I don't know why it says that. This was a little bit of a, I would say probably 1 or 2% right here. And then we're going into turn, as soon as you hit turn 4, then it switches and goes downhill. There's Pat Boss right in front of me there on Hit Squad. Not sure why he just wore a plain black kit in the 50 plus race, which was his state championship, but he wore his Hit Squad in the younger guys race. I'm kind of following Bart back up to the front, see if we can get up in the front with the guys. It's nice to finally get some fitness, especially with Gateway coming up in the next week, and then the state championship in 2 weeks. So hopefully, I'll be able to nurse this fitness along and be able to have some good races. There's Johnny Slover, our other teammate. And there's Scott Cox up in front. Trying to see where Dusty is. I haven't seen Dusty. There's Eric Anderson. He's a really strong, really fast sprinter from Methods to Winning. They have some really fast riders on that team. I mean, there's 4 of them that are phenomenal sprinters. And Stephen Brown, he's a younger master, but He's a fifth guy, so they have actually five really phenomenal sprinters that any one of them could win a race. It's usually Rasan and Sharon Smith that are their designated sprinters, and those guys are usually working for them. But when they're not there, they can sprint. Like Eric Anderson, he's won quite a few races himself. Try to move back up to the front, just get a little closer to the front here. It was a lot easier in this field just to stay near the front. We're getting down to the last few laps here. Can't remember if lap cards have come out yet, but see everybody's riding the gutter. I like this inside line. It was much better than taking the outside. Pretty sure the brake has already gone up the road at this point. So at this speed, nobody's going to bring that brake back. I mean, they're probably up front rolling 26, 27. We're back here dicking around at 22. You know what I mean? There's Dustin right in front of us. He's the one that ends up winning this race. Really good sprinter. Good breakaway guy. He's really good at getting off on a break and just driving it and then still having a sprint at the end. That right there, that was Pat yelling, "Come on, Evo, get up there and start pulling." And I'm like, "Yeah, Bart, get up there and start pulling." So this is where I go to the front and just do a really hard dig. This is going into 4 laps to go here, so I still have some time to recover. But somebody just went off the front there, so I just go to the front and just go as hard as I can for most of this lap. I think I do like 3/4 of a lap, and that's when Dusty attacks with 2 other guys, and then they end up bridging up and making a group of 4. No, I think it was a group of 5 actually. I think there's 3 of them that bridged up. So they bridged up to the front 2, and then out of that group, on the final sprint, Dustin ends up winning. So I'm just staying to the left of the curb just enough to give my teammates a draft, but not everybody. So I'm kind of trying to a little bit trying to gutter everybody a little bit, just make them all work a little bit harder. And so you can still barely see the break. I mean, they had a huge lead on us, so I thought I'd just empty the tank right here and just get them as close as I could. Um, and we'll be going into, I think, 3 laps to go after this. And so I think I start to run out of gas about right here, so I just kind of move out of the way. And you'll see Destin attack on the right hand side, and they were off. Then they go up and bridge up. And so there they go. Yeah, there goes Dusty. So 3 of them bridge up, and that's how it happened, and that was the winning break right there. So not much really happens from here on. I just kind of ride in on the back for the last few laps because I did my job. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll do a gateway video soon.